Hey everybody, it's me, Remy, the comic book poser, and today I'm here to welcome you to Enter the Poserverse. It's Tuesday, which means tomorrow is new comic book day. I'll talk about some DC stuff today, but I'll pick it up until Wednesday anyway. So, we'll see exactly which books made the list after this. Alright, so we are here on my League of Comic Geeks pull list. So these are all the things that I am picking up over from Chops Comics in lovely Lawrence, Kansas. If there's something else coming out that I might have over at Game Nut, it's not going to show up on this list, so if I forget it, sorry. I'll also remember to shout out the 3 Scout books coming out this week at the end of the list that I'll get them in my Scout box, either in the October one that is coming soon, or the November one, which will show up end of the month. First book from AWA is Bad Mother number 4. This is another, it's Chris Faust and Mike Deodato Jr. I like seeing what is happening as the mother is now taking the kidnapping of her daughter into her own hands. That, we're seeing this, soccer mom that is kind of blended into the nothing, getting ready to take down, someone who's drug and sex trafficking. It's pretty good. I know a lot of you who watch my stuff are reading it anyway, because everybody that's kind of in my circle, we're all into the same kind of indie books, so we'll talk about it on Wednesday, I guess. Next up from DC is Batman number 103. I was not as angry at 100 or 101 as some people were. I really think the introduction of the Ghostmaker in 102 sets up an interesting dynamic where we're going to see kind of like a Batman versus a different version of the Red Hood in terms of playing with the Clown Hunter. Like, the end of the Joker War, the Batman went to the Clown Hunter and was like, hey, knock that shit off, or I'm going to deal with you. And he was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And has kept doing his thing in the name of keeping Gotham safe. Or killing the bad folks in Gotham. And the Ghostmaker is showing up and he's like, this is another bad apple and you're not doing anything right. This attempt to believe in rehabilitative justice is something that is wrong. So I want to see what's going on here. I also didn't mind the Punchline book that came out last week. So I'm intrigued to see what role she'll still kind of play in the new Gotham after the conclusion of the Joker War. So we'll see, but I think this book's going to be okay. Next from Image, this has been one of those books that I've loved every week it's come out. It's Big Girls number 4. We know that there was a little bit of conflict between 2 of the big girls in the book because there was a dispute over whether or not they wanted to fight or kill one of the mutated, but it started communicating in English, and there was a hesitancy to kill him, and it led to a throwdown between 2 of the big girls. Next from Marvel, we've got Cable number 6. I think this is the next to last week of the 10 of Swords event that I think we got through chapter 16 this week. So that says 19, so that means we're getting 3 more books this week. And I'm intrigued to see how quickly things run up, because we're starting to see that maybe it's a bit of a rigged game, and I want to know how things are going to wrap up, because this is only 22 issues. It's only been 22 issues spread out across 6 weeks, so a bajillion X-Men books. So we get 3 of them. Cable is one of the 3 this week. And we'll see the other 2 down below. Next up from Image is Commanders in Crisis number 2. The analogy that I used in the last video in my weekly rankings was if one of the big battles in Avengers, Infinity War or Civil War was the first Avengers film you saw and you were expected to know all of the different characters. That's what this book is. You've learned that throughout the multiverse, however, all of the heroes that we interact with are all presidents from different aspects of the multiverse, so I think that's kind of cool, and we'll see how this wild arc continues to go. Next up from DC, we've got Dark Knight's Death Metal number 5, still behind. From Aftershock, we've got Dead Day number 5. This is where we see the family at the end of book 4 get ready to muscle up against the gang or the criminal coalition, whatever those folks are that they've been dealing with. And the revivalists are also in the picture that we have to worry about that are stirring up some things. So we're getting a conflict on both fronts. And as we can see in the preview of this book, maybe somebody finally actually dies. Next from Vault is Devil's Red Bride number 2. I really enjoyed the first one of this in terms of looking at, a 16th century cult love samurai tale, and I'm on board for more of it. Die number 15 comes out this week from Image. I've been a big fan of this, and I think I'm ready when book 15 comes out to read all of the third arc together. When it says the great game ends, I can't remember if the first 2 arcs were 5 or 6 issue arcs, so this is either the last book of this arc or we get one more. Either way, I've enjoyed it, and I want to read it kind of all in one sitting again to see if I've been piecing things together correctly. Next up from Vault is Engine Ward number 5. I kind of talked about being a little bit cold on this one, that it slowly started to slow down and turn me off a little bit. But book 4 really excited me, so I'm ready to see what's happening in terms of the different, the celestial, constellation god people, versus the gal that has the head that she's finding information from in the same way. The Cyclops is not Cyclops. Cyborg is a disembodied head in Dead Earth. I don't know. Next up is Grundle, Kentucky number 3, another AWA release this week. This has been wild in terms of seeing the Irish funeral about the death of one of the women, female main character's fathers. So I want to see what happens as they, finally get ready to confront the beast that is living in the coal mine. Hellions number 6 is our second of 3 releases in the Ten of Swords saga this week. Hollywood Trash number 12 comes out. Book number 1 was wild. I can't decide if the more insane book that is released by Mad Cave at this moment is Hollywood Trash or Terminal Punks, but I love both of them, so I want to see what happens in a world where they're dealing with the explosion that attempted to kill them that started with the California wildfires. Justice League 57 comes out this week from DC. This doom metal thing has been okay. That's about the nicest thing I can say about it. Once and Future number 13 comes out. This has also been one of the books that I have been very, very high on. I love seeing how Graham and Duncan are constantly dealing with new stuff that is just kind of popping out of the weeds at them. This also indicates that we might get to see more of what Merlin is doing in terms of his pulling of the strings, and I'm definitely on board for that. Another Vault book this week, Shadow Service number 4. We are starting to understand why some of the characters may have mythical powers. We get some necromancy, which I love, that kind of dark art, raising the dead, warlock, demonology kind of stuff. So I'm very, very excited. And we are figuring out who's trying to take down the MI666 team. So I'm okay with that movie. Something's Killing the Children number 12 from Boom also comes out this week. We are trying to figure out what is going to happen as Erica Slaughter continues to throw Hail Marys to end the terror in Archer's Peak. We also got to see the kind of size and scope of the House Slaughter network at the end of issue 11, so we'll see if they are going to crack down or do anything extreme to try and contain the threat. I don't know, I'm here for it. I've loved this series from day one. Next up from Marvel is Spider-Woman number 6. For the first time ever, I agree with Bruce and Stephanie, who have cooled down on Spider-Woman. Book 5 was weird. Now they're going to space. But you can see from the cover, Jessica Drew and Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, are on the mission to find the High Evolutionary to see if they can learn some of the secrets or find the truth, the signal through the noise in terms of everything that has happened. Stillwater 3 from Image Skybound comes out this week. It's my dude, Chip Zdarsky. Book 2 was wild because we started to see like the role the judge gets to play where nobody questions him in terms of dealing with outsiders, but also dealing with the potential gift of immortality that comes from being in Stillwater. And we learn that there's something called Death Day that's coming up. I'm all about it. I'll probably love this book. Next is Symbiote Spider-Man, The King in Black #1. I have only consistently pulled the Symbiote Spider-Man and Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality Spider-Man books because, again, we've talked about how I should just change the name of this channel to I Hate You, Nick Spencer. But I've liked what has happened in the writing of Symbiote Spider-Man. It's going to be one of the first books that we get in terms of kicking off the King in Black event, and I'm kind of excited for that since I've been reading Marvel's Absolute Carnage arc. I've been up on Venom and even some of the Thor stuff that I think ties into this world as well. I'm excited to see how this plays out, and it will also be a good test early of, am I going to buy every single book from this event since I skipped Empire and the Ten of Swords event was not really a lot of extra out-of-pocket expense for me because those were all books that I was pulling anyway, that it was plus, you know, one to three one-shots throughout the entire series. Venom number 30. I'm still at about Venom number 27 or number 28, but here's the finale. We get the face-melting finale to it, but Codex looks kind of badass. Next from Aftershock, We Live number 2. I really liked the premise of the first book in terms of looking at how, you know, people were responding to the environmental threat and dealing with getting to the pods and things like that. So we'll see if book 2 delivers as hard as number 1 did for me, or if in the slow goal of me cutting things off the list, if this one goes and I wait for trade. It probably won't happen. I'll probably like it. And then our last book of the week is X-Force number 14. This is, again, our third tie-in from the Ten of Swords event, which sets us up for 3 or 4 books remaining in that series, which, again, I think has been pretty good, and I think they've established a good secondary conflict arc in terms of the theory of the rigged game against Krakoa in the combat. I did say I would shout out all of the Scout books that are coming out this week because they are things that I will get through the Scout box. So I'm going to pull that up because I know I'm going to screw the title up on 2 of them. Alright, so the last 3 books that I'll talk about. Atlantis Wasn't Built for Tourists number 3 comes out this week. I thought this was quite interesting in terms of starting to maybe figure out what was going on in the town or in Atlantis County. I've read Frank at Home on the Farm number 1 through Scout's like early release portal, and we are finding all kinds of weird shit in terms of the dude's missing family. And then we've got Assassin and Son number 1, which is written by 2 former WWE wrestlers. Now, there could be a shift in one of these books coming out, because I think what I heard happened is that the recount got delayed by a week and is coming out, so I'm wondering if this is going to push one of these books back or not, but we'll all find that out on Wednesday. So what do you think? Is there anything that, you know, I'm obviously missing from the pool that you think I should be reading? As always, let me know down in the comments below. Is there anything you think I should get rid of? Let me know down there as well. Remember, join me Thursday night for 500 subscriber giveaway. Join me tomorrow afternoon at some point, usually around 1:15 Central, to see if I picked up other random things at my LCS. So, that's all I got. I have a graceful ending, and my co-host is gone. So, as always, thanks for stopping by, and have a good one.